Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to this session around Salesforce field service. So Youssef and we chose today to introduce you to this topic. So today's session is basically for the people who really doesn't know about the Salesforce field service, or maybe they have questions around when this product could be used, all right? So I'm going to, before to begin, actually, maybe we have some customer within us. So every decision about purchasing the product should be based on the products that are available in the market and not based what you are going to say or to explain or to show you in the demo later with Youssef. So a quick introduction for ourselves. My name is Asmaa Kerroum, and my colleague is Youssef Berrada. We are a senior technical architect at Salesforce, and we are mainly focusing on Salesforce field service projects. Okay, so the agenda is as follows. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction about the product, what it is, and what are the challenges that we are going to resolve while using the Salesforce field service. Then I choose to highlight one of the powerful features about using Salesforce field service, which is the optimization. And therefore, Youssef will go on by explaining the capabilities around the field service mobile app. And then we will be finishing with giving you a quick demo so you can see exactly how this product is being used in one particular context. All right, so what is Salesforce field service, which is used to be called field service lightning? So don't get confused if I say sometimes the field service lightning instead of Salesforce field service. So the product is a managed package which is revolving around these 6 pillars. The most important one is the scheduling. So what is the scheduling? So let's assume that you are selling products or services and your customer is calling in order to have someone at their location to fix an issue. So the system is able to pick the right candidate at the right time slot in order to fix the customer issue. One criteria which is always recommended by all the customers actually is to reduce the travel time. So we would like to send, let's say, technicians or engineers to travel let's say the whole city from the north to the south in order to reach the customer. So the system is able to predict the travel time, and this is based on the actual situation of the road. So a concrete example, let's say that there is a lot of traffic or maybe some natural disaster is happening in some geographical area. The system is able to calculate the exact travel time that the technician has to make in order to reach the customer location. The second pillar is the virtual, which is basically being able to give some remote support to our customer without sending anyone to the customer location. And since this is everything for the customer satisfaction, with the Salesforce field service, the customer are able to log in, let's say, to some self-service portal and book some appointments themselves. So as a customer, I don't really need to call and look for a free time slot in order to get someone fix my problem. I can already provide what is the nature of my issue, and when I am available, or he is my preferred resource or technician, and therefore I will be able to book myself an appointment to fix the issue that I am facing. The second pillar, which is equally important to the scheduling, is the field service mobile app. So there is a mobile app which is different than the Salesforce mobile app, and it's dedicated for the service resource or the field technicians. So simply, they are able to back report exactly what they have been doing at the customer location, with the ability as well to generate a service report with getting some digital signature from their customer, saying that I agree this is exactly what the technician have been doing to fix my issue. I will let Youssef later on give you more explanations about this part, because using the mobile app is also empowering the technicians by having visibility on what they have as part, or let's say equipments in their van or the trucks that you are driving. And therefore they can already anticipate and know if they need some, let's say, products in order to fix the issue, if they do have them in their van, or they need to maybe request for an order to have them. The most also important pillar is the asset. So if you are selling products, usually you are getting contractually engaged to do some maintenance periodically. So maybe once a month or twice a year or something like that. So as a human being or not using a scheduling and optimization system, it's quite hard to honor and achieve all the maintenance that you agreed upon with the customer. So the system is generating these visits upfront and making sure that they are being scheduled even before the date has come. And therefore, if the customer is calling and saying, hey, when are you going to visit and to fix maybe my coffee machine or something like that, you can already provide the information, either that we have already planned to send someone by this date, or maybe just go ahead and plan that visit and give the customer an instant feedback. So having all this information in one area, which is the Salesforce platform, we can build some tools to predict and to, let's say, give recommendations to the customer. So for example, if the customers are raising a lot of issues around the same particular product, it would be so easy to flag or to identify. And therefore, maybe as a business owner, I would decide either to change the vendor or maybe not sell that product anymore because I am spending too much money by fixing the product for my customers. All right? So basically, this is what is all field service is about. And afterward, I would like to go maybe in more specific detail, is answering what is the reason or when I would know that I really need this product. So there are basically three main goals. The first one is empowering the tech force or the workforce or the tech engineers. So basically, as a mobile engineer, I have just mentioned that I dispose of a mobile app, which is allowing me to access the knowledge base of articles. And this is basically helping me in troubleshooting, doing the investigations that I need while being at the customer location. And therefore, this is increasing the chance of the first time fix issue. The second goal is the personalized field service delivery, which means that whatever the customer needs, there is a solution for that. So either the customer is willing to have support on or off the field, we can provide that to them. The last goal, which is scaling the field operations, and this is based on the dynamic, let's say, scheduling and dispatching of the work. So let's say that I am a customer and I called a call center saying that I have an emergency. So the system is able to find right away who is the technician, who is, let's say, close to the customer location in order to attend that emergency. So this dynamic way of finding the optimal technician to answer to the customer need is the power of the Salesforce Field Service product. All right, so behind all these goals, we have tools and technologies that are deployed in order to facilitate to make it easy the life of this persona or this role. So for example, agents and dispatchers would find it very, very hard while dealing with, say, hundreds of technicians and thousands of customers. So whenever a customer is asking for a time slot in order to get someone to their place, in order to, let's say, define what is the right appropriate time slot to give them. And maybe if it's an emergency, what are the work that we need to remove from the technician planning in order to locate that emergency. So while using the Salesforce Field Service, we are able to do so in a matter of a second. As a back office persona or user, we always make sure that we are not wasting money. So whenever a customer is calling, we need to make sure that he is really entitled to get that service. And basically, while using Salesforce Field Service, we are able, let's say, to prevent sending a technician or a field engineer to that customer if he is not paying for that service or product. So for the mobile, yeah, we know that there is a dedicated mobile app to facilitate the work of the technicians. However, it's also help leverage the sales. So if I am at the customer location, because I need to fix something, and there my customer is asking to upgrade or maybe purchase another product. So while having this Salesforce Field Service mobile app, I am able to, let's say, register his request immediately, and therefore I am, let's say, making my company having more money instead of redirecting the customer to call someone else, which might make the company lose some money if the customer is changing his mind. Well, the manager is always making sure that the activity is on track. and therefore he or she needs to keep an eye on the KPIs and if the technicians in the fields are doing well. So the sales field service are making sure that the managers are having all the KPIs on eye in order to act and to help them take some decisions if there are some areas that need to be fixed or that need to be improved. And finally, we know that any business owners are using contractors because like contractors, let's say, are always cheaper than internals. However, we need always to make sure that contractors, let's say, are at the same level of efficiency like internals because they are always trained and having certifications and etc. So if the contractors are also having access to the Salesforce field service, either using the community or the Salesforce mobile app, we make sure that they are well guided and the work is being done appropriately. All right. I think before finishing or before going to the last part, yes, which is around the optimization, and why I choose to pick that one because like it's the really parts which highlight the power of the tool. So in exact situation, let's assume that you are having a business and let's say using 100 of employee, and therefore at the summertime or something you are receiving 1,000 customer requests because like the same product is getting breaking. Let's say we are talking about air conditioners. So as a human mind, it's really tough and difficult to decide what are, let's say, what are the visits that are going to assign to each employee or each technicians in a very optimal way because I have to respect some rules and at the same time I have some company objectives that I need to converge at in order to come up with the most optimal schedule. This is what this system is able to do in a matter of allocating 1 second to a visit, and therefore the system is always respecting the rule. Let's say I'm checking always if the employee or the technician is having the right skills to do the work, if the employee is available on not taking some time off, and maybe if the customer is having some preferences, like precising that I would definitely get that person or don't send to my location that specific person, so the system is respecting that, in order to come up with less qualified employees for each intervention or for each customer visit. At the end, in order to identify the most optimal employee, here we use the company objectives. And I mean by the company objective is what really matters for the company. I am really just trying to minimize the trouble for my technicians, or maybe I am trying to satisfy the customer more, and therefore I would definitely send the preferred technicians, even if he has to travel, let's say, 1 hour more. As well, we can respect to minimize the overtime objective. And if, let's say, I have a technician who have some free time at 2 p.m., I'm not sending someone else at 7 p.m. So taking into considerations all these rules and objectives are the base for the optimization in order to come up with the most optimal employee for each intervention, and therefore even form planning and schedule for 1 whole month at a time. So this is all about the optimization. I think I will let Youssef complete with the remaining. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, so thanks, Asmaa. So now let's change the gears and take a look to the Salesforce Field Service mobile app. But first, please remember, if you are in this industry, remember that your field technicians or engineer are your brand face. So when they are the ones who go on site and meet the customer, so they need to have the same level of information and data as the headquarters or the other users that you have in your system. And with this manner, actually, they will do efficient work, and also they will increase your customer satisfaction. And this is why, actually, we have a dedicated app called Field Service, which is different from the Salesforce mobile app. And in some use cases, we need to use both of them. If needed, we need to use both of them. But now let's focus just on the field service mobile app. And I'm just gonna list to you some of the capabilities of this mobile app. So the first thing is a robust one. So we have a lot of that data. We have some use cases and some scenarios where we have thousands of technicians, and each one of them have the application installed in his mobile. It is available in Android and iOS system. It is not available in Windows system. There is an Apex Exchange for that, but as out of the box, it is only available in Android and iOS. It is also brandable, so you can add logo, you can change some colors in the app. That's very easy to do. It is also offline first app. Why? Because most of the time, technicians, when they are on site, they could be in, for example, in machine room or underground, so they don't have any network. And in this case, they need the app to still work in offline mode. So this is one of the most powerful capabilities of Salesforce mobile app. They have also real-time access to all the data they need, and also to knowledge article they need in order to install that. So for example, let's say I need to change just like a spare piece, and the idea is, okay, I don't know how to do it, so I have knowledge article. I can consult it in the mobile app, even if I'm offline, and I can see, okay, there is step 1, step 2, and documentation also is available. They have also the ability to capture all data and also share it with the dispatcher or other user in the system. They have also the ability to collaborate via chatter. So chatter is available on the field service mobile app, and also the dispatcher can push notification directly to technician or engineer. The idea is, for example, if I receive a new appointment, so I have, for example, I start my day just with one appointment, and therefore while I'm working on this appointment, I will get notified that I have a second, for example, that's coming at 1 p.m. Second appointment that's coming at 1 p.m. One thing of the great also features of this mobile app is the geolocation tracking. So I am able to locate all my technicians in real time. When I say real time, okay, it's like 1 minute time. And the idea behind that is I can schedule my jobs depending on where my technicians are currently. So not from their home address, but where they are actually at the current time. So I'm sure that, for example, this technician is going by, for example, in India. I have also a customer there, so he can do the work order directly there, and it will be optimized. So this is all the capabilities. I will also go through some innovation that we have on the field service mobile app. So one thing which is very interesting and was introduced in the last release for field service is the capacity that in a smart way I can push some notification or suggest some notification or some actions to the tech field in order to update, for example, the status of the work order. The example that's given here is, okay, I've just finished my current work order and I'm moving to toward the next customer. So the app will detect that I'm moving, and I was like fixed for like 2 hours. Once I start moving, the app will suggest me. This is one of the latest feature that was introduced to update the status of the service appointment to see them en route. So I'm going to the customer without. Before it was up to the technician to remind himself that, okay, I'm moving, so I need to change the status. So this is one of the nice features that we have currently. And one of the biggest innovation that we had recently on field service mobile app is the capacity to have Lightning Web Component in it. Before it was not available. We can have global action, we can have visual workflow, but we don't have Lightning Web Component in it. So it is currently GA. But now, the innovation that was in the winter 23 release is the capacity to have those Lightning Web components in offline mode. So even if I have a workflow, I can run something like you see in the screenshot here, and it can run the Lightning Web component as you see here. So it's process which is customized, and it could be run on offline. And once I'm back online, it will synchronize all the data back to Salesforce. Okay, so that's it for the Salesforce mobile app. Now let's take you through a success story that we had, and it's about Hologic. So first, it is like a company that operates in the customer good industry. In this use case, we used field service, service cloud, revenue cloud, and also analytics, so CRM analytics. But now let's focus just on the field service part and what was the actually the added value on this project. So let's take first a look to the problematic. So Hologic have most of the data distributed between spreadsheet files, some on Oracle, and the most problematic ones was on the head of the technician and the engineer. So there was no data, and the most difficulties was to bring all this data together. So with Salesforce Field Service, now we can track all the data all together for all our technicians, and also we can measure at any time the mean time to repair, which is the average that took me for a specific type of operation to repair, for example, or to repair air conditioner. I will have an average, so I can report and monitor this time. The first time fixed rate, which is one of the KPIs we use, is do we resolve the problem at the first visit, or we need multiple visits in order to get the work done. There was also reduced dispatcher headcount from 6. So for a specific business unit, there was 6 full-time dispatchers before working on dispatching the work between different technicians that we have. Now it's moved to 1.5. Don't worry for the others. They were not fired. They was for other business units. We improve also, as I said, K metrics as the mean time and the first time. Also, the time to dispatch was very interesting because field service lets you use automation in order to schedule and optimize your service appointment. So you don't need to do it manually. So before, we need 6 dispatchers in order to pass work orders one by one. Okay, but after that, we had only to have 1.5 dispatcher. So this is the K metrics that we have, and for now, customer success was increased, and also the first time fixed rate was also reduced. Now, I will give you also a demo about how field service works, and you will see also some screens that explain exactly what Asmaa just presented to you, and also some capabilities of the field service mobile app. Let's take a look to the persona that we have here. So we have Lauren, which is, so first the scenario is we have ski mountain resort, which is a resort of luxury apartment where guests can come. So they own the apartment, and they can come, for example, to ski, but they inform us ahead of their visit, so we can prepare the house for them. So we have Lauren, which is a resident. We have Ayub, who is a dispatcher, who will manage all the technicians that we have. And we have Jess, who is the resort technician. So the use case we can demonstrate briefly is Lauren is planning a trip to this resort. Ayub prepared Lauren's arrival and assigned the tasks for every, so for Jess and for the other also technicians that we have. And Jess also will be able to complete her tasks and reports back via her phone, all while providing contactless field experience. So let's take a look for the first screen here. And let's assume, okay, I'm Lauren, I called the agent, and the agent also, via the number, identified the contacts we here. So what we can see here is, okay, Lauren, I have all the information, as we see, and we can have, for example, Lauren relationship. And we can have also, what you see the check here, is people who has the ability also to book the trip at the residence. But for example, the other don't have the right to do it. So I have the global picture, and I can ask directly via a smart. I have also looked to the property, so I can see all the attributes of the opportunity, the property. And here I can have a smart data capture that will guide the agent on the information that they need to collect in order to have all the information to engage the work order. So I know that, for example, the arrival will be on 26th of October. I have also the members of the family that I can check. There is also the dog called Max. So I know he will also be there. So if there is anything to prepare also for the dog, I need to be aware of. I have the recommended time for arrival because I know everything on discussion I have with Lauren. So now I can go and directly see also the weather situation. And I know that last night or upon arrival, there will be snow this day. So I need to remove snow from the house entry. One of the things, so this is a kind of work order that I need to engage. So for this case, I need to engage something. So I create the work order. So this is not matter. This is not important for field service. So actually, I will create a work order, and then Ayub will see all the situation or the global picture that they have. So I need to engage the action today. And as of today, I can see I have here my technicians. I have all the service appointments here, and I have the new service appointment that I need to schedule. But take a look to that. I have some service appointments that are structured in the Gantt here, but I have some gaps that I need to cover. This is not optimal situation because during the day I received multiple service appointments, so I scheduled them in as they are coming. So maybe the start date isn't the ideal scenario. So what I will do here also, I can change the palette color of my service appointment and see the nearest due date is the red is the color. So as you can see here, the due date for them, for those that are coming first, is good because they are first and the due date is coming, so I need to prioritize them. But some of those, for some of those, the due date is later on, so I don't need to prioritize them right now. So one thing I could do is run what we call the in-day optimization. So there is multiple type of optimization, but let's talk just about the in-day optimization, which means that I need to optimize the service appointment that I have for today only, and not for the coming weeks or tomorrow, for example. So I will run the optimizer. Now look at the picture before. Okay, this is the picture that we have before, and then this is the picture we have after. And one thing to notice is I filled the gap. All the gaps that I have before are filled because automatically I ran the optimizer, the in-day optimization, respecting all the work rule that Asmaa presented to you, and also I respected, and which is the most important, my scheduling objectives. Because if I need to prioritize customer satisfaction, so for Lauren, for example, who is coming, I need to find time slot for her. So one thing I did is I optimized the schedule in order to include, so this is not very clear for you, but I have included here the work order for Lauren in order to do the work. So few more minutes. Here is the chatbot. It's not related to field service, but quickly something. So once I scheduled the work order for Lauren, it is dispatched. So two things happen once it's dispatched. Lauren receives a notification via the chatbot, and also Jess will receive a notification in her service mobile app. So I have a notification that said, okay, this is the status of the work order that you need to execute. This is the details and how much time it will take. So the chatbot is here. And I can also press some numbers here as a choice to engage other action if I need. Now, just receive, this is the field service mobile app. It's look like that. So here, for example, I can see that today I have 3 service appointments. One of them is Lauren work order that I need to execute. So I can start here, and I can see also the steps that I need to execute in order to complete the work, which is clearing the entry house. But first, I have a work plan, and I executed a process, so which is safety checklist. So this was in period of the pandemic, and here I acknowledge that I have the face mask, I have the gloves, and everything is okay. So don't worry, Lauren does not have to worry about anything. Okay, so once Lauren in there, she noticed that there is a Windows that broke actually. So we need to repair that. Okay, she have an action in the field service mobile app. She click on it and she choose that we have a broken window, which is the type of the work order that I need to engage. She just create that, so it is a new work order. Automatically the chatbot send an SMS to Lauren saying, okay, this is how much it will cost to you to repair the bug fix. Would you like to do it now? If she say yes, we will engage the action before her coming even here. And this is also a scenario of upselling. It's here, we are not selling something new, but we are engaging something from the mobile directly to the customer without going with the classic workflow, which is someone is calling to ask for something. So recap here, Ayub has actually a 360 view of all the work orders that need to be engaged in period of time. He also has the view of the capacity or the utilization that we have for all our technicians, and the view is very customizable. So we can see, for example, just today, or we can see 2 weeks or long-term view on the Gantt. Lauren gets stay updated, so she has everything she needs to know about the progress of the work order, and also Jess doesn't have to access or do anything on her laptop. Everything is done directly from the mobile app, and even more, she can, for example, by the end, get a service report, get it signed by the customer if needed. She could also submit her timesheet for the day. So I spent, for example, 2 hours on this job. So if it is like this model of payment that we could have, or of time card. So that's all from us. Thank you very much. And over to you if you have any question. Sure.
You mentioned that there is a mobile app that's working on it, and also there is a dashboard on the web. For the mobile app, is it like developed separately, or like?
If I get the question right, so the mobile app is more dedicated for the technicians or the field engineers. So they are the user of this app. But for example, the screen that we saw for with the Gantt and multiple service appointments is more for the dispatcher, who is managing all the field service agent, or at least parts of them.
Yes, my question was more like, is each one developed separately and then connected, or like you can create the web app from org, like, and also use the technology that?
No, it's I can say it's a separated app, dedicated app directly. We cannot develop something, for example, in community and publish it directly on.
Actually, it is integrated with the SDK. Salesforce SDK. So
Yeah.
you can perform APIs between platform and service.
And field service mobile app. And actually, we can run, for example, we can create flows that we could trigger by action on global action from the mobile app, and that trigger the flows, which is a visual flow that we can see actually on field service mobile app. But we cannot just build a community page and see it directly on field service mobile app. This is not how it works.
I believe it's different than mobile publisher. It's not like
no, it's different. It's totally separated thing. Yeah, Ahmed?
Maybe I'll focus more in the offline part.
Okay.
There is any specific feature or limitation in the offline version, or you have access to the same feature and
no.
you can also...
There is some features that are not available in the offline mode. And there is also some limitations. So there is a list in the documentation of the features that are not available in the offline mode. And there is also a limitation on the volume of data that you can store actually in the field service mobile app. Just imagine we have assets. You cannot store, for example, some customers have 2 million assets. You cannot access all the assets directly offline. You need to go. But we have a functionality called briefcase, which is preparing a set of data that maybe, for example, I have a work orders for today. As a technician, the admin or the architect will prepare those briefcases. And so, for example, I will download automatically on the field service mobile app the data needed for the day for a specific technician. But I will not have, for example, access to all the assets that I have in the app. It doesn't make sense.
Is it something done automatically before going to the visit?
Yeah. Once you configure the briefcase, it will download the data directly on the field service mobile app for that technician. But you define just a pattern, if I could say, for that technician. So every technician will get the data that he needs for the day, for example.
And it runs basically whenever you first launch the mobile app. So when you connect the first thing in the morning, it downloads everything that you would need to complete the day.
Any other question, Jamal?
Do you know that offline data where it's stored? I believe it's not retrieved from Salesforce directly. Maybe Heroku in the middle where the data is?
Yeah, we have just more 2 or 3 questions and that will be it.
We'll come to you afterwards.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
We have the closing keynote waiting, guys.
Okay.
Thanks all.
Thanks.